Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to another Supreme Numerics offering brought to you by Mr. Westbrook's class. And this video is covering the May 2025 numerology forecast and the numerical vibrations of the word May. And of course, as usual, this is the universal energy of how it's going to affect everyone, regardless of their birthday, birth number, life path, zodiac, geographical location. This is how the energy is going to affect everyone, regardless of those factors. If you want to know how the month of May will affect you on a more personal and intimate level, just reach out to me and I'll show you how to calculate your personal month cycle, or I'll do it for you and give you a breakdown and analysis of what to look out for this month of May. But before we get into the themes for this month and the vibrations of the word May, let's review our universal year. 2025 puts us into a number 9 year when we add up the 4 digits of the year. And to calculate the universal month, we take that universal year, that single digit of 9, and add it to the 5th calendar month, which is May. May is the 5th calendar month. 9 plus 5 equals 14. 1 plus 4 puts us into a number 5 universal year. And before we reduce it down to a single digit, we have the number 14 as a compound number. So this breakdown of the themes for the universal month will encompass both the compound number of 14 as well as the single digit number of 5. And as I mentioned, May is the 5th month on the calendar, and it's a 5 universal month. So we have 5 energy doubling up for this month, just like how we had the number 4 doubling up for the month of April. Now, getting into, let me put that on the screen. Almost forgot to put my banners up. I made some banners for you all. Of course, I have the breakdown over my shoulder of the themes and the words, but I'll also put up on the screen too if my posted paper, the writing on my posted paper is too small. So let's go ahead and get into the themes. Now I have those scrolling as I'm talking to them and elaborating on the themes. So for this month of May, in this 14-5 universal month, we all want to make sure that we're practicing moderation by disciplining ourselves and limiting our stimulation and physical pleasures. There's a saying that too much of anything isn't good, which is true, but this is especially important when it comes to those vices, such as online shopping, alcohol, sex, drugs, sugar, whatever those vices are. We want to make sure that we're practicing moderation this month, because the number 5 is connected and associated with addictions, and the number 14 is the temperance card. So we want to make sure that we're moderating those vices and not overdoing partaking in those substances and those activities. Number 5 month is a month of constant movement and activities. Number 4 month of April was more about limitation and restriction. So you might have felt limited or restricted in regards to your resources, your movement, and your freedom. But in this 5 month, you can enjoy a little bit more freedom, more movement, more activities, to be more out and about, outside more, which is especially fitting since it's the springtime. And if you live in the Northeast like me, the weather is breaking. So that's more encouragement to be outside, to go to events, to hang out. That's what this month indicates. It's also a travel month for taking short trips as a part of that movement and those activities. You might take some weekend trips this month. May 5 universal month is a great time to do that. This 5 universal month is also about positive changes. We're almost at the halfway point of 2025. And if you had a shaky or rocky start or first few months to 2025, like I did, you can see the month of May as an opportunity to turn things around for the better, to improve yourself and your situation in some way. And it's very fitting that we're into the spring season, a season of new beginnings. The cosmic or astrological new year is marked at the beginning of the spring equinox, which makes a lot of sense and is very fitting. So it's a time to get a fresh start if you need it. Number 5, universal month is also deals with being socializing, especially with dealing with the public in some way. It's an opportune time to put yourself out there, deal with the public in some way, to promote yourself, to get in front of people that can help you level up and get to the next level. Especially if you have a business or a brand. Of course, you can promote yourself and your reputation at a personal level too, but professionally and with your career, it's a great time to promote yourself to the public and seek out those favors and those people in either higher places or people that have resources that you don't have to support you and help you out. In terms of health, since the number 5 cycle is associated with constant activity and movement, health issues deal with the effects of overdoing the activity and the movement, such as exhaustion, issues with the nervous system, insomnia, mental irritability. So going back to what I opened up with about the number 5 dealing with moderation and not overdoing things, that doesn't only apply to the vices, but it also applies to your activity, whether it's activity for work or activity for play. You want to make sure that you're balancing out that constant movement and activity with getting adequate rest, so you don't wear yourself out, burn yourself out, and drain yourself. And as far as the beneficiaries of this month, of course, everyone can benefit, since number 5 is one of those numbers that is harmonious with all the other numbers. But there are some folks who will benefit more than others, as long as they're operating on the positive side of the number 5 energy and not the negative side of the number 5. And those would be Geminis and Virgos, and anyone born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of any month. So that covers the themes of this 5 universal month of May. Now let's get into the numerical breakdown of the word May. So if I slide over here and you look over my shoulder, we have the word May. And as always, I broke it down into the 2 systems of numerology. We have the Chaldean system of numerology on the top, which is the older, more mystical system of numerology. And I have the Pythagorean system on the bottom, which is also known as modern numerology. Now, both systems work. Both systems are accurate. Chaldean is a little bit more accurate, but Pythagorean is still very much so accurate. So to give you a fuller picture, I'm going to give you the breakdown of both vibrations, the Chaldean and the Pythagorean. And by doing this, it will give you a bigger picture, and it'll show you how both frequencies are at work during this month. And I added up the sum total of the word May, and that is known as the expression number. And the expression number is here to tell us what we need to learn. It's here to show us what it has to share with us. When it's applied to a person's name, like if you're doing a consultation with me and I'm breaking down your birthday and I'm breaking down your expression number coming from your name, that would tell me your natural talents and abilities, regardless of training or education, but it'll also tell me what you're here in this world, in this lifetime, to share and to teach to other people. So the expression numbers of May, this is going to tell us what the month of May is here to teach us and what it needs to share with us. And by abiding by these lessons and following these lessons, we can be in more harmony with this month, along with our following the positive attributes of the 5 universal month themes. So in the Chaldean system, the word May adds up to a number 6. And that means that from the Chaldean perspective, the month of May is here to teach us to be responsible, and responsibility is correlates or is connected to being responsible for our activities and our behaviors. That moderation I talked about with that 5 universal themes. So to be responsible with ourselves, but to also be responsible to our families and our homes, since the number 6 is a number connected to family and home duties and responsibilities, which brings us to being family oriented. The month of May is teaching us or reminding us to be family oriented this month. And it's very fitting that Mother's Day falls under or during the month of May. So those are opportunities to spend time and connect with the matriarchs in our family and just all of our family members. We gather around to celebrate and love on our mothers. Of course, that's something that we should be doing all the time, not just once a year on Mother's Day. But it's a time for us to gather and do that. We also have college graduations during the month of May, another time when people gather, family gathers. But of course, you don't need a special occasion or a holiday to do that. But let this month of May be a reminder to reach out to that family, spend time, with your family. Make some changes or arrangements in the home. Do some spring cleaning if you haven't already. Clean up your home, move some things around. It's a responsibility to your family and to your home life. May is teaching us or reminding us to be loving to others and to ourselves, to be balanced in everything that we do. Balanced in how we approach situations, balanced in our activities, balanced in how we interact with others. The number 6, if you have that number in your name or your birthday, it represents someone who's objective and very good at giving advice. Number 6 teaches us to be kind to ourselves and others, to be thoughtful, to be understanding, and to be sociable, outgoing, come out of your shell. If you're not a social person, challenge yourself to be more social during this month of May. Now, on the challenging side, here are the things that we want to avoid during this month of May from the Chaldean perspective. We want to avoid gossiping. We want to avoid being stubborn and being judgmental, controlling, and being self-righteous. Now, when we jump over to the Pythagorean breakdown of the word May, it adds up to a number 12 as a compound number. Let me take this off the screen because you can't see my chart paper. Adds up to a number 12, and when we reduce it down to a single digit, it adds up to a number 3. And in compound numerology, The number 12 is the hangman or the sacrificial lamb. So we want to make sure that we're not allowing people to take advantage of us in the negative way. But when we reduce it down to a number 3, May is reminding us or teaching us to be positive, to be optimistic, to be cheerful, confident, ambitious, and to be expressive, especially using our voices, vocally expressive. The number 5 is a communication number also, particularly related to written communication. So it's a good month to journal and write, and then to also balance it out with your verbal communication and expressiveness and your artistic expression, whether that's through music, singing, speaking, using your voice. Use your voice during the month of May. Your words have power, and what you have to say is important. On the challenging or negative side for the month of May, from the Pythagorean perspective, you want to avoid being jealous, overworking yourself, which ties back to the overactivity in the movement. You see the dots connecting, some similarities between the 5, the 6, and the 3 here. Avoid being pessimistic, avoid gossip. We just saw that with the number 6. Number 6 is a negative attribute or characteristic. Gossip is a negative attribute or characteristic of both the number 3 and the 6, and avoid being reckless also. So let's look at some similarities between our number 5 universal month themes, as well as the numerical vibration of May in the Chaldean system and the numerical vibration of May from the Pythagorean system. And so here's some of the commonalities, so we can tie this all together, and you can have some chunks, some bite-sized chunks that you can take with you and focus on for this month. Focus on balance and moderation in everything that you do this month. Of course, that's every day of the year, but especially during the 5 universal month, and with the influence of that number 6, you want to practice balance and moderation in everything. And challenge yourself to socialize more this month, especially if you're not a social person. If you're already a social person, that's your bread and butter. You already do that. But if you're not really a social person, or you're kind of shy, or you lack confidence in your abilities and your work, challenge yourself to put yourself out there personally and professionally. And I just talked about writing. If you want to get into writing, I give you 1 or 2 journal questions or reflection questions that you can journal. So I'll challenge you to write these questions down and answer them for yourself. You don't have to share them with anyone else. You can just keep these questions for yourself. So I have 2 reflection questions for this month of May. And actually, before I go to the reflection question, I actually wanted to point out some interesting history about the month of May. Just one tidbit here I forgot to mention. I did a quick internet search about the history of May, and May is the 5th month. Like I said, it's the 5th calendar month under the Gregorian calendar. But prior to that, with an older Roman calendar, May was actually the 3rd month, which is very interesting because the word May adds up to a number 3 in the Pythagorean system. So that was just something interesting that I found in my brief internet search. But let's get to the reflection questions, and then I'll go ahead and close this out. So the first reflection question for the month of May. I encourage you to journal these questions, but if not, at least think about these questions and meditate on how you can answer these questions, and not only just answer them, but answer them and then put them into action. First question is, in what ways can I ensure that my holistic health remains in balance this month? And that is going back to the constant movement and practicing moderation and balance. So you want to make sure you find ways to balance your rest and your activity. Make sure you balance the vices with healthy alternatives, and by doing that, you can enhance or keep your holistic health in balance, meaning your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional health. Yeah, that was the other one, emotional health. And this answer might be different for everyone. So just think about how you can keep your holistic health in balance this month, and discipline yourself to follow some type of plan to keep yourself on track. The second reflection question is, in what ways can I be more social and expressive, both personally and professionally this month? The number 5 points to both personal and professional socializing, especially professional with putting yourself into the public and improving your image and your reputation in some way. The number 6 being number 6 is about being sociable as well. And you can start with family, since the number 6 is the family oriented number. You can start with being social with your own family members, being more social with your own family members and the people in your own household under your same roof. And the number 3, again, that's another expressive number. So not only being social, but not being afraid to really express your thoughts to others, as long as you're not engaging in negative socializing, meaning getting into gossip and scandals and talking about people instead of talking about ideas. So just think about what ways that can you be more social and expressive this month, and to really put yourself out there. Take that step of faith, put yourself out there, especially if it seems scary to you. This month of May is a great time to do that. So that covers the May 2025 numerology forecast and the numerical vibration of the word May. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to know how this energy is going to affect you on a more personal level, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you out. But until the next video, which could be the next unread book review or the next Supreme Numerics offering, I wish everyone, or I will that everyone have an amazing month, an amazing, productive, joyful month. And I'll see you next time on Mr. Westbrook's class. Take care and continue striving to be the best version of yourself. Peace.